What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. And you already know who I am. I'm your host, Bando. I'm the only one that does the show. I'm the only one you ever see. And we got some shit to talk about. It's usual. You already know. There's fights always happening. There's always fight stuff. There's always news. There's always stuff going on. But the huge fight that everybody's been waiting for, the big anticipation, the big build up, this huge fight everybody was waiting for, finally happened this past weekend, and that was Gervonta Tank Davis took on Ryan Garcia in a catchweight bout at 136 pounds, and it was a great matchup. Honestly, it was the hype and everything behind it came together very well. I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed the matchup. I thought it was a great matchup. I thought you get two guys in their prime. I hyped the fight up so much. You guys already know how like excited I really was for that fight. So to finally have had it and to see it and see how it went down, and I was pretty much right. I'm not going to say I was on point 100% or anything like that, but I was pretty much right. I had a feeling that there was just parts of Gervonta Davis's game and parts of Ryan Garcia's game that just weren't going to clash well. I figured that there were going to be openings in certain punches that Ryan threw. I had a feeling that Tank's power was going to make a difference, and it did. Beautiful body shot for the finish to end the fight, and Tank dropped him early in the second round. It was a good fight, man. It really was. Like when I was sitting there and I'm watching the first round, and I'm like, shit. Tank's kind of looking kind of slow, and we already know Tank's a slow starter. Naturally is a slow starter. We've seen that in every fight that he's been in, but when I mean he started slow, he also did not seem like he was even in there. He didn't seem like he had no groove, nothing in his footwork, nothing in his punches. He just did seem like he wanted to be there. Every time he clinched up with Ryan, Ryan was landing heavy, big shots in the clinch, and I thought that was going to be a problem because of Ryan's size, how much bigger Ryan is than Tank. I thought every time Tank goes in for that clinch, that's going to be a problem, and it could have been, but it wasn't, right? Come on, man. There we go. My thing was I had a feeling that every time Ryan went for the left, he was going to leave himself open. He actually did very, very well on his defense of keeping his hand up. Now, he did get dropped in the second round. He overextended on a shot, got a little too carried away with a couple shots that he was catching him with, and he got tagged himself. I feel like if that was more clean right here instead of directly, like it kind of like hit him right in the mouth and the nose area. I feel like if that hit directly on the chin, he would have been sleeping. And I say he would have been sleeping because anytime Tank does land like that clean, that strong, he usually does sleep him. So overall, fantastic fight. But honestly, the one thing I noticed, a lot of people are saying that Ryan Garcia didn't fight his best fight or wasn't showing up or anything like that. I can agree in ways to that, but at the same time, you have to look at it like he got dropped, and after he got dropped, he was never the same again after that. There was no... Ryan didn't kick back into gear. He seemed like he was scared to throw punches. He was focused on trying to hit that left-hand counter. It just was not there. Tank was reading it so well. Tank's defense was on point. This is what it is. Tank is, in my opinion, overall a better boxer at this stage in his career. But like I said in the last podcast, if you watched, which reminds me, make sure if you enjoy any of my stuff to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you know when I have new content out. And go ahead and check out the old content. Back to what I was saying. In the last video, I talked about it. I said Ryan's 24 years old. So at that age, it really does not matter that much when you fight a fight like this. You go in there, you fought a great fight. You didn't come out with a win. There was a couple mistakes you made. You were a couple points where he didn't throw many punches. Like he should have in this. I would say in the third through sixth, he just seemed like he was light on the volume. He wasn't throwing much. He needed to pick up the volume a little bit. And honestly, in my opinion, he needed to use his right hand more. He landed a lot of right hands, bro. He landed a lot of nice right hands. And he just didn't use them enough. He didn't. I shouldn't say a lot. He landed a few nice right hands. And he should have used them more. I think that would have really benefited him. But like Tank does, downloads the data, breaks you down. He kept getting inside, waited for Ryan to throw the punch, caught him with a beautiful body shot. I don't know if that was like a rib shot, liver shot, whatever it was, but it dropped Ryan, and Ryan was not getting back up. And Gervonta Davis came out with the win. So Shout out to Gervonta Davis. They're calling him the face of boxing. I don't know if he's going to end up really being the new face of boxing, but it's big. I hope more matchups now come from this. Now that the fact that Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia happened, it's signed on the dotted line. These guys put the work in. They went at it. Beautiful promotion and everything to build up to it. I hope more fights get made now. Like we have Devin Haney and Lomachenko, I think, is in May. So I'm excited for that. That's next month. So that's another huge fight. Hopefully, all falls through and it actually happens. You know how boxing could be. We need Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence to be announced at least before the end of the year. Give us that at least. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know what the big holdup is. I can talk so much on that. I just don't understand the holdup for it. There was even fucking Tyson Fury and Andy Ruiz. Get the fuck out of here. Who asked for that? Nobody. Literally nobody asked for that. And no diss to Andy Ruiz or anything. Shout out to the dude. The dude's pretty cool. He put in the work. He built his name up off of that win from Anthony Joshua, the big underdog win, put his name in the history books, became a heavyweight champion. It's awesome. It's an awesome story. Why the fuck does that fight even make sense? All it is a paycheck for him. Even at the lowest percentage of any type of cut that they decide that they want to do, if Tyson said 90% to Tyson and 10% to Ruiz, it would still be the most Ruiz made in his career. But at the end of the day, the fight makes no fucking sense. The fight that people want to see is Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, and why can't you get it done? Figure something out. Stop being a bunch of prima donnas with the money and the different contract signings and everything. You guys are making millions regardless of what happens. Sign the fucking fight. Make that fight happen, the one that people want to see, and let's get it going. Let's stop playing games with this boxing shit. Just make it happen, because it's so annoying when you keep popping up every other day. And I'm a Tyson Fury fan, so I think it annoys me even more when I see this shit, because it's like, bro, just set the fight up that makes the most sense. Andy Ruiz makes 0 sense, right? Deontay Wilder for a 4th time in Saudi Arabia don't make no sense. Even Anthony Joshua don't make sense. But even if you did Anthony Joshua, at least there's a little bit of history there. But I don't know, man. That's just how boxing is. But the one that makes sense, the one that's for the belts, for the big time championship shit. Like, I'm still getting into boxing and understanding all the lineal and all the belts and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure that if those two clash, if Usyk and Fury clash, that is for all the belts. I think that's for everything. So make it fucking happen. Only boxing gives us this bullshit. You go to the UFC, you get the matchups you want in the UFC. Which leads me to this past weekend. We had a couple nice matchups. I enjoyed the card. It was a pretty fun card for a free card. But man, oh man, I feel bad for Curtis Blaydes. I really do feel bad for Curtis Blaydes. And how can you not? I said it in the last podcast. The man gets so close, so close, so close, and then just the rug snatched from under him, bro. Everything is taken away from him. I don't get how the man gets so close and everything just gets yanked away from him like that. I feel for him. And I'm a Curtis Blaydes fan. I fuck with him. I fuck with his style. I like the way he is, but Sergei Pavlovich is a monster, man. He really is a fucking monster. And he is going to be a problem for all the heavyweights. Let me tell you that now. Now, I'm not going to predict the man beating Jon Jones. Jon Jones is all around. We've discussed this before. If not the greatest fighter of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time with you know, whatever the fucking little star things, asterisk next to his name, whatever. Like, it's there. He's the GOAT. He's had issues, whatever. But talent-wise, skill level, he should overall be able to beat Sergei Pavlovich. But Sergei Pavlovich is walking through other heavyweight shots, and I'm talking about one-shot KO type heavyweights. You got Curtis Blaydes, who sent Chris Dawkins to the Shadow Realm. You had Derek Lewis, who sent everyone to the Shadow Realm. Tai Tuivasa doing the same thing. These are big hitters landing big shots on this guy, and this guy is pushing forward, and Jon's not a heavy hitter. So if Jon's wrestling don't work and this guy shows no respect to any bit of the striking and he starts tagging Jon Jones up, could be an issue. Could be an issue because he's one of those guys, like, even if he's not sparking you out cold, he's hitting you to a point and not giving you a second to recover. And in the heavyweight division, that's all that's needed to stop the fight. Now in the bantamweight division or maybe even a lightweight division, you start landing some heavier shots and the guy's falling over, but he's getting up, but he's falling back over, getting up. You can kind of mess with that a little bit, right? You can kind of let that go. You can't with the heavyweights. You land a couple more shots that aren't supposed to be landed, and that's it. Night, 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 night for you for any type of heavyweight. It's a dangerous game up there, and Pavlovich is a dangerous man. I'm not saying he's the future. I'm not saying he's the next heavyweight champion or nothing like that, but he's a problem. He's a big problem for the heavyweights because that man hits hard. And Francis Ngannou got out, but here's Sergei Pavlovich doing the same thing Ngannou was pretty much doing. So scary, scary thing for the heavyweight division. What else? What else is going on? I know there was a bunch of announcements. There was a bunch of fight announcements. You got Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Looks like that's official. Gilbert Burns taking a third fight in 2023. This man's a fucking savage, and not just a third fight. It's one thing when you just take a third fight, like my man Sean Strickland's taking another fight. Shout out to him fighting Abus Magomedov, I think his name is. Third fight. These guys rocking 3 fights a year. I love it. That's fucking awesome. But Gilbert Burns taking on challenges this year. Neil Magny, Jorge Masvidal, now going up against Bilal Muhammad, and we're talking back-to-back pay-per-views. That's some badass shit. Gilbert Burns is the true BMF. I mean, someone really needs to put that BMF belt around his waist if you want to talk about that corny-ass belt. Put it around his waist, because that really is one of the baddest motherfuckers in the UFC. He'll fight anybody, anytime, and I like it. Now we for sure, with no argument, even though Colby's going to end up getting his matchup in the summer in London with Leon, now you have no argument. This is your number one contender matchup. Whoever wins this one is your number one contender. Sits to the side after this win, is guaranteed that title shot. I would be absolutely baffled, dumbfounded, shocked if the winner of that fight doesn't get the title shot. It's the only thing that fucking makes sense in the welterweight division. And honestly, if Colby gets past Leon, Colby versus Gilbert or Colby versus Bilal is interesting. And then if Leon gets past Colby, Leon versus Gilbert's very interesting stylistically. And then Leon versus Bilal, there's history. It's the second fight, the eye poke and all that kind of shit. So there's a lot that can go on in that welterweight division, but that is a huge matchup that got made. What else got made? Davison Figueiredo versus Manal Cape. Fuck, I know I'm missing a bunch. I saw Irene Aldana. I think Raquel Pennington 2 is happening. Obviously, we got Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena in Canada. Then you got Charles Oliveira versus Benil Dariush that got canceled, got moved to that card in Canada. Fuck. Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis is on that card that's going to be with Volk and Yair. I think that's UFC 290. That's a fucking stacked ass card. I'm going to pull that up real quick because they started announcing stuff for that, and that card is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let's check this real quick. Okay, so actually Volk and Yair is not official. Looks like on this at least. So you'd be looking at Brandon Moreno versus Alexandra Pantoja for the main event. Middleweight co-main with Robert Whittaker, Dricus du Plessis. Then you got lightweights Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker. That's a banger. Robbie Lawler going up against Nico Price. I'll take that all day. So that's all they got for UFC 290 so far. So that's stirring up well. You got Josh Emmett's going up against Aaliyah Tapuria in June. Cannonier versus Vittori in June. 289 is Amanda Nunes, Juliana. Charles versus Benil. Then you got Dan Ige versus Nate Landwehr. Wow, that's going to be a slugger. And then you got Khalil Roundtree taking on Chris Daukaus, and Chris Daukaus' light heavyweight debut. So we got some stuff coming. Nasruddin Imavov fighting Chris Curtis. All right. So we got some fights coming up. Hermanson versus Allen. Rosenstruik versus Almeida with Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker. You got the return of Ian Gary versus Daniel Rodriguez. Mackenzie Dern's going up against Angela Hill. Tim Means versus Alex Morono. Oh, man, look at all these cards, bro. All these cards. We just finished Pavlovich Blaydes. This weekend we're coming up against Song Yadong and Ricky Simone. I like that one. I'll do a separate breakdown on that one later this week, so pay attention for Thursday. We got UFC 288, that's Aljo and Henry. Then the Rosenstruik Almeida. Then Pennington Aldana. then Hermanson Allen, then 289, which is Nunez Pena, Vittori Cannonier, Emmett Topuria, Strickland versus Magomedov, and then UFC 290. Man, oh man, 2023 is just stacked. Absolutely stacked. I'm loving it so far. I love being a fight fan when you got fights like this. And boxing's doing their thing. Hopefully they get shit figured out and fixed up. Honestly, it's always a fucking mess with boxing, but hopefully they can figure their shit out. Give us the fights we need, just like UFC is doing. And you'll be having some happy combat fans. Oh, speaking of combat, one last time before I go, man, with this whole all this boxing talk. Jake Paul and Nate Diaz were supposed to fight, but Nate Diaz gets in a street fight with a Logan Paul lookalike, puts him to sleep. He's he's gonna get arrested. They're trying to get him, whatever the fuck, stuff out for him. Oh man, this is chaos. Looks like KSI and Jake Paul are gonna end up fighting, and guess what? I don't give a flying fuck. Just get my man Nate Diaz in there. I just want to see him lose for fucking 10 rounds and then bitch slap Jake with some boxing gloves, say what's up, and then say that he won the fight, because that's how it goes with a Nate Diaz matchup. But either way, that's just my quick little episode. Weekly, I'm really trying, man. I got to get at least 2 episodes out a week, but I want to get 2 to 4 episodes out a week, and then pay attention to the Instagram for all the reels and stuff. But I appreciate you for listening as always. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the bell notification button. Check out any of the old episodes and stuff like that. And yeah, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all later. Thank you. Catch you later. Peace.